In this video, I'll be showing you how you can use the snapping options in Blender. So when we're creating environments in game engines, a lot of times designers and artists will use the snapping options for when moving stuff around. So let's just go into Unity really quick, just to kind of give you a quick example. So I'm just going to put this gray on here really quick. So right now I have these two doorways. Let's pretend this is just a blank wall, for instance. So when I move the wall in different axes, you can see that I'm just ever so slightly moving my mouse. I can kind of do these sort of smaller incremental movements, as you can see here in the position. I can do sort of these bigger movements here and there. Now, this isn't really great when it comes to modular assetting when you want to kind of align things correctly. So it's like, you have to kind of eyeball it and you have to kind of zoom in. Doesn't really work out well. So a lot of times people will use this option here. You see this little magnet, which is the snapping tool, which means that when I move it, you'll see that it's actually snapping to the grid. So where these lines are in the grid, you'll see that it is snapping to it. Again, it's all kind of based on the position of the pivot as well. So you see like the pivot is now on this white line here, same there. Want to put it that line there, kind of move it here. It's one of the reasons why you might want to move the pivot as well, so you know, like, okay, the corner of uh, the model is definitely in line with the grid, and this is because it is scaled correctly and within the parameters as well. So I can kind of snap these together. For instance, it might take a little bit of work, obviously there's a clear gap there, but you can see how this can work um, when you're wanting to like align models more appropriately, and you can do that in Blender as well. So here at the top, right in the center, you'll have the snap options. You just turn that on and off. If you hover over it, you'll see that you have a shortcut, which is Shift and Tab. So I can turn it on and off as I see fit. So when it's off, again, I can do kind of like subtler movements, moving it that way, for instance, as quick as I possibly can. But if I turn it on, if you pay attention to its movements, you'll see now that it is actually snapping to the actual grid lines. Now I'm in Blender 4.4, so it does have a grid option here. If you're using the one at college, it might be a bit older, so it might not have a grid option there. But you do have various different snapping options. You might not have grid, for instance, but you do have increments. So this is all based on the size and scale of the actual grid. So if you've seen the scaling video, you know that this square here represents 1 meter. So because I've put on increment, and the scale is to 1, it's going to move in increments of 1 meter. So let's use this for example because it's easy to kind of see. So that's 1 meter there. So you see now it's moved 1 meter. It's moving 1 meter across. Uh, Now I can change it. So for example, if I want it to be 10 centimeters, put 0.1. You'll see now that let's zoom in a little bit, as I move it along, you'll see now that it's moving in increments of 10 centimeters. Put it back to 1. You have other options as well. So you kind of align to vertex. So essentially I can snap it to a vertex of another model. So let's say I want to snap it to this model here. So if I just move it along, like right now you can see that I can just move it I can just move it normally as if the snapping isn't on. But if I move it to one of the vertices on the another model, so let's say this one here, you'll see now that it's actually snapped to it. So I'm going to move it here and then snap right there. There you go. You can see now that it's aligned to that particular vertex on the x-axis because that was what I was on. If I go to the y-axis, see now it's moved a bit forward now as well. You can do it for edges too. So again, if I move to this edge here, you'll see that there's a little icon that kind of appears. So it's snapping to that particular edge as well. So I'm moving that back a little bit. So you have numerous different options that you can kind of choose from. So have a play around with that and get used to using the snapping function.